Okay, I'm now ready. I've received an email from info@nextsteps.idaho.gov that's going to tell me that my account has now been turned into an educator account. So I'm going to go ahead and log in to my counselor account, and we're going to talk through how to invite students to create their accounts and how to clean up your user roster so that you're only seeing those students that you want to see. But we'll also do a quick tour of the different features that exist within an educator account. So if you can remember back when I created my initial request, I was looking at an adult account because I was in a holding pattern. Now that I've been approved by the Next Steps team, I'm in a educator account, and I can tell that because I have a dashboard home, I have an admin dashboard, I have a user roster, and I have reports. This is the dashboard that I'm landing on when I first log in. This is the dashboard that students in grades 8th through 10th will see. So you're able to see and do everything that an 8th through 10th grade students can do. We call this the legacy dashboard because this is the dashboard that has existed for the last 18 months in the Next Steps. If I come up here to try the new dashboard, I'm now back over in my new student dashboard that was really designed specifically for our 11th and 12th grade students to help them easily navigate and access the Idaho Launch Career Pathway Plan activities. There's a separate video that you can watch that will walk you through how to instruct students on how to use those activities. We're going to go back to the original dashboard. And now I'm back on my regular dashboard, and I want to come down here. The admin dashboard is a place to visit once your school has been using Next Steps extensively throughout a school year, because it's going to tell you the top activities that are being done, the top occupations that are being saved. But for now, we're going to go down here to our user roster and focus on how do we invite students to be a part of our school. One thing to know about the user roster, there's a lot of different features. There's filter features for you to filter down to look for maybe a specific person or a specific grade level of student. You can set the columns of information that you want to see on your user roster. You can change the density of the user roster to see more students at one time. And if it makes more sense to you, you can also export it to work with it in Excel. To add students to your school, you're going to come over here to the add user. It's going to take you to an invite by email. This is for a one-off invite. A student joins the class late, you might want to invite them one student at a time. Our recommended way to get students to create accounts and be connected to your school is the invite by link. They'll come in, you'll click on invite by link, and you'll set up the district that you're at. And if you're only at one district, that's the only district that will be in the drop-down menu. For location, you'll have that one location. For those of you who may be working out of multiple locations, you'll be able to select which location you want to create this link for. And then you have the opportunity to tag students or to create classes. So this would be a way to, if you were working in an English class and you had second period English and third period English, you could set up two different invite links to get students completely rostered into your second and your third periods separately. Under tags, when you click on it, you're going to see all those tags that maybe you've created before or others at your school have created. And if you don't see one that's going to fit for you, you can come down here and click add a tag. You're going to type it in, demo the 19th, and hit submit. It's now going to show up here on my roster. I'm going to click down and then I'm going to click on it and then I'm going to click out. And I'll see I have my demo district, my demo school number 1, and demo on the 19th. I've got it set up to create a student account, and I'm going to create my link. It's going to tell me that my link has been created. And I'm going to come down here to all my invite links. I'm going to find the one I'm looking for. And when I click on that link, my link has been copied. And now I can use it to maybe share via my school email or maybe post in a Google Classroom or some other document so that students can quickly access this link to start their account creation process. Hey, that's how we learned how to do bulk invites. Now let's go back to our user roster and let's learn how to set our user roster up for the way that we want to work with students at our school. One thing you'll notice is what on the user roster, you're going to see every type of account that's associated with your school. But you have the ability to set up your own views, like I have here, a 10th grade cohort. I have a Devon's third class, and I can switch between those different views based on clicking, or when I want to see everybody, I can just go ahead and click clear. So how do you set up a roster view for yourself? Well, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to come over here to the filter. And for instance, if you're only going to be working with your 12th graders on Idaho launch activities this year, you can hit grade 12, you'll hit grade, and then you'll type in 12th. It'll start to go. You're going to see a little save button show up here. Go ahead and hit that save, and now you can call it whatever you want. We're going to call it October 12th grade and hit save. And now my October 12th grade is there for me. So I could go to my 10th grade cohort and come back to my 12th grade. One other thing that you can do to filter and set views is the other option is doing those class and group tags. So I'm going to clear my filter and I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click class and group tag. And maybe I want to see which tags I have. And I'm going to do my pre-conference tag. So I'm going to pull my screen over so I can see the different tags and do pre-conference. It's going to show me all those students that have a pre-tag conference. You'll also notice that students can have more than one tag, and that's because you might be working with them and someone else in your school. So students can be in multiple tags, and the views that you set up are not going to affect any of the views that other educators at your school might be setting up. So these are just views for you to use. Once I have that set up, I'm going to go ahead and hit save, and I'm going to call this one pre-conference and click save. I'm going to go ahead and clear my filter because you'll notice that I have a lot of students that don't have any type of tag. And maybe I see that all of them need to be tagged to my CTE math period 1. So I'm going to come up here. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click those students that I want to see. I'm going to squeeze it down so I can see exactly what I want to see. And I'm looking for students that don't have a tag. And so I'm going to come through and I'm going to search for those students and I'm going to just click on them because these are all students that need to be in my CTE math period 1 tag. And I'm going to start with these and I'm going to say, yep, those are the students. You'll notice that my bulk edit pops up and I can do a couple different things. I can edit status. We'll talk about that in a moment. We could edit the grade. We'll talk about that, but I want to edit a tag. So I'm going to come in here and it's going to show me all those students that I've tagged. And I can either type in a new tag, or if my tag already exists, then I can look for it in here. I don't see my tag, so I'm going to tag it as my CTE math period 1. I'm going to click that add a tag, and so it's going to tell me it's added. Now I'm going to come down here, select it, and then hit submit. And then I'm going to refresh my screen. And I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to scroll over. And I'm going to see those CTE math period 1. And when I click on my view, I'm only going to see those kids. I already had that view. I just didn't have the tag. But if I didn't have the view set up, I would have done the same thing where I would have come over here, said, I want to look at class and group tag and do CTE. So there's a couple different other bulk options, and that has to do with the status. So when a student is invited via a link from you and creates their account, The system's going to go ahead and call what we call approve them, meaning they know that they should be a part of your school. But there's going to be oftentimes a student may just go to the next steps landing page, or you may have had students just go to the next steps landing page and ask them to create accounts. And if that's the case, then they're going to show up as pending in your roster. And the reason that you want to go through and validate who they are is so that when you're going to start looking at reports of activities that students have done, they will show up only when they are approved. So we've given you the ability to go ahead and find those students that are pending and bulk approve their status. So you come in here and I would hit approved and I'd hit submit. And now my students are all approved. And so now when I'm going to go and look at some reports, we can make sure that Sarah is going to show up as an approved person within my school. So that's the functionality that's available to you on the user roster. This is where you're going to create those links to invite bulk students. This is where you're going to be able to set up those views of students that you want to see. And as you can see for my demo account, you can have as many views as you can think about. Anytime you want to see everybody again and you know that you're on a view, you're just going to hit that clear button. It's going to take you back. Okay. So now we're going to take a little break. And then when we come back, we're going to do reports. Okay, welcome back. We're going to look at our fourth and final feature on an educator account. That's our report phase. It's going to land on a page that looks like this, report career pathway plans. The first one is really a summary, and it was built to say how many students within my school have done every single one of our historical Next Steps Idaho career pathway plan activities. If I want to look deeper, because I'm just working with my 8th graders and I'm only having them do those 8th grade activities, then I'm going to have them come right here. I'm going to take the summary page and I'm going to click on 8th grade. And it's going to give me a view of all my students. And then each of these activities are those activities that the student would be completing on their 8th grade career pathway plan. And I can see whether they've completed it or it's incomplete. And I can also take a look at each individual student's portfolio account because these are all hyperlinked to that individual student's account. So that's the reports. And when the new launch report appears, the beginning of November, this is where it will be. So you will see 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, and there will be an Idaho launch report. Please note that these 11th and 12th grade career reports do not meet the new Idaho launch requirements. It is only the Idaho launch activities, which are highlighted in another video that you can watch at another time. But the launch report for you will be in here in this list. If you also are interested in looking more quickly through individual student portfolios, go back up to the user roster. Go ahead and click on the view that you have set. And when you click on this view, you're going to get a very quick overview of the work that your students have been doing. So if Adina or Dissa had done any work within her 8th grade plan, I could actually come in here and view her answers. I can see any of the things that she's bookmarked, whether those are careers or scholarships or schools. And I'll also be able to view any of the assessments that Dissa had done within her portfolio. So that's it on reports and viewing student portfolios. We thank you for joining us and learning a little bit more about the functions and features of educator accounts.